Hey, welcome back. Here we are. It's Saturday morning and I pulled up the comments here, so thanks for tuning back into Collectors Radio and everything. So we've got some different stuff here on the table and everything. So it is October, so we got the Halloween coffee mug here. So everybody tuned in. Okay, all right, let's get to the comments here and start reading them through. So the first one, again, no particular order, we're just rolling through them. If you guys got questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. We'll answer them if they come up. All right, first one up, we got Andrew Bates. He says, nice collection. I am a sucker for Wilson Combats like you are for Colts. I just ordered Ed Brown Commander, so we shall see how I like it. 1911s, Beretta 92s, H&KP 7 series are my weakness. Yeah, we all have definitely the ones we like. Slimfire 54, awesome Collectors Radio talk video. JW, my first 1911 was a llama. I remember the yeah, in 45 ACP back in 1987. It jammed a lot, so I knew nothing about 1911, so I took it back to the gun shop and told them what it was doing, and the man said, what may be the problem? But he said, if you don't have a quality 1911, if you want a quality 1911, buy a Colt so I can pick up a used. So I picked up a used 1980 Colt 45 nickel plated 70 series. It ran great and I wish I still had it. Yeah. There's a lot. I must be I need my readers. I'm not being able to read these very well. It's too small. Wonder if there's a way to enlarge the screen. All right, here it is by second A 2A supporter. Says, excellent life advice, Batjack JW. I retired to Casa Grande, Arizona area almost 3 years ago, and I'm a long-time subscriber. Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody that's still here and been subscribed for a long time. I learned a lesson regarding people many years ago. I now only have a very small handful of close friends and whom I trust. It's important to be cautious while still remaining friendly. Yes, that is very important. Definitely still remain friendly. I'm not, telling anybody to go out and be a jerk to anybody. But that said, I love older Smith & Wesson revolvers. I have several from 65 to 85. Thank you for creating and uploading the videos. You're very welcome. Thank you. I appreciate everybody tuning in. So, Danger Man. I think I speak for all of us when I say how enjoyable it is to listen to you wax poetic about the 1911. To the average person living off of soup, to afford an expensive handgun is a little nutty. To us fans, we totally understand. We find our collecting niche and become a connoisseur. I own Glocks and think that they are a fine handgun, but give me a good police revolver from the 70s any day. I agree with you, absolutely. Yeah, I just love the old collector stuff. All right, Mark Kaufman, another good video. You really have grown over time. Thank you, Mark. Sean Lee, enjoyed the show. Keep it up. The Bohemian Hunting Club, they've been doing a lot of really cool testings and stuff out there, so that's awesome stuff. If you haven't subscribed to them, check them out. This is about how my luck. That's about how my luck goes. If I'm looking for something, somebody else finds it. Yeah, story of all of it. White Owl 7585 says his Springfield Garrison barrel fit, slide and frame fit and finish is a lot better on it than the newer Colt Classic model. I do agree with that. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Colt. I love their stuff, but I do have to agree that the Springfield Armory is a better made 1911 as far as the newer ones are going. Okay, Lion Quest Fitness. Some of the best advice I've ever been given is a line from Shakespeare: "To thy own self be true." Johnny, 1982. I'm on the same page. I have a Glock 19X and an M9A4. Love them both, but maybe you need to add a good 1911. Yes, you do. Everybody needs a good 1911. JW. Hey, all you need is a Detroit Tigers cap, huh? For your basic 1911. You go a little Tom Selleck. All right, trees are blowing. Good morning, trees are blowing. Good morning, Bat. And I say, good morning, Trees. Because you know what? Trees are blowing is a really good channel. I like his stuff. You never know what that guy's got. Hey, that ain't no cop's gun. And KSFWG Then you go out and then you outlive your friends and retire, move, or they retire, move across country. Isn't that true? Being most of my friends have quite a few years on me because I enjoy hanging out with the older folks. Unfortunately, a lot of them do pass away, and that kind of sucks because you're kind of, for me, I'm left behind there, still younger and trying to figure that out. All right, okay. Enough of the computer. Now we're back onto the radio. So I got a couple of things here that was actually brought out. I actually been working on these, these are the new grips here. Let me drop them and pick them up here. These are something new. I wore. This is a new, different. I guess you could say a color scheme, if you can actually see that. I'm not sure how well they show up on camera there. This is those skip checker grips that they used to do way back. Now I did those in a kind of it's a darker copperish color, and then it's got the black diamonds. Now I did actually go through and I actually left the diamonds on them, those larger cut diamonds. Oops. You know what? I've been fumbling things all week. Even at work, I've just been dropping stuff. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm losing dexterity in my hands. But I left all those diamonds rough on this set because I figure, you know what? Maybe it'll add to a little bit of what is supposed to be with grips, is to get a grip. So I left that alone. I left them rough like that. I did not want to. Usually what I do is a lacquer over these, but we'll see how that holds up. But yeah, I kind of tossed those together, and I've been liking those. And those are kind of where I got the idea and the influence for those are from. If you don't know, it is Out for Justice with Steven Seagal. His character carries grips like that with the brown and the darker diamonds. So I like that. I actually do. Those came out pretty good. I must say, I like it. So anyway, let's move on over to something like this, which is cool because I saw this in a shop and I just had to pick it up because I said, this is really cool. I've seen these on eBay. Actually, I've seen them on eBay, and they're pricey as all get out. So when this thing showed up, this thing was like, it was under $300. It was like $200 and something, I want to say. And what it is, it's an original old school Wilson Combat 1911-22 conversion slide and magazine. So it's really neat. And of course, it's a little covered in oil right now. But there it is in all of its glory. Wilson Combat, I guess, was making these at one time. Actually, when I was installing it, trying to mess with it, it scratched the top there. And I will say there's some criticisms I have on this thing over, say, the Kimber conversion unit, which I do. That's what I have on mine. This thing does have some weight to it. It really does. It has some heft. This whole unit, the way the recoil spring and everything works, it's got the rod and everything that fits down in there, and then it's got this little buffer thing. The way it all kind of goes in there, you got to kind of install the spring without this rubber washer right here, and then you can just kind of push this aside like this and just kind of move it, and then push the washer over all that. Now I didn't know that at first because sitting there trying to mess with it, and I tell you, of course, I don't know if they ever did give instructions or in this thing or what, but when I got it, this was not assembled. It was kind of left there in the box, and I was trying to mess with it, trying to figure out how to put it on there and install it, and it was not easy. And in fact, that's when I figured out that that's the only way to do it. You're kind of messing with this thing, and then of course you're scratching up the top here, which is, that's what's going to happen anyway when you fire them, if you're going to mess with them a lot. But no, it's got some nice touches. The top is flattened with the serrations, which I actually really like. I've grown to like that touch on 1911s. Of course, I'm always going to be that kind of old school look. I always will like it. It boils down to, too, when you kind of say, well, you know, I like a lot of these things, you know, like for instance, you know, I'm not too into the modern stuff out there. I really am not. But when it comes to things like, you know, like, okay, would you rather have a Glock or this old classic, you know, 1911? Oh, well, of course. I mean, I'm going to want that old classic. I really am. And it's no knock at Glocks or any of the other polymer wonder pistols out there. It's no knock at those. It's just that that's what I am. I'm more of a collector, always have been. Always kind of just love that niche of getting collector, you know, the collector's pieces. And it was never about the money. I didn't really... early on when I was buying this stuff, it wasn't because it was worth money. It wasn't because of that. That would just happen to be the bonus. It just happened to be that what it is I love all those old movies and all those old firearms that are really cool because, you know, I watched all those movies from the 70s and the 60s and all that back when the movies were really cool. Yeah, stuff like Dirty Harry or Bullet with Steve McQueen, which I still want a snub-nosed Colt Diamondback. So, but they've gotten so expensive that, yeah, you just, I can't, it gets to the point where some of these, you just really, it's hard to for me now to justify when it starts getting up there in value. Versus where if you're paying like $3,000 or $4,000 for some collector's piece, and it's just like, and I know it kind of does float onto that thing where it's like back to what we were talking about one time, where it said, well, at some point you got to jump on the wagon if you're going to do this, if you're going to try to get one of these, because the prices aren't going to get cheaper, which is very true. A lot of things are not going to get cheaper. As somebody that we talked about suffering and eating soup for a long time, it was like to be able to afford your layaway payments on a custom 1911. You know, there's always that too. But when it comes to that, you know, I had passed off an opportunity, and I should have just done something about it. I should have secured it in some way. But there was an old pre-war Colt 1911 in this cardboard box in a case down at the local shop, and it was up there. I mean, the price tag was really heavy. It was not one of those like, oh, you're an idiot if you don't grab that kind of deal. No, the price tag definitely reflected on what it was. I kicked myself because I should have got it, but you know, at the same time, it's like, you know, I can't help but think sometimes where it's like, man, you know, if I bought something, if I was going to spend that kind of money, you know, what else, you know, that the gears turn about like other things you could get. But, you know, it depends on what you really want. And, you know, the gun enthusiast back when, you know, he was making a lot of videos, which we miss his channel. I miss his channel. He used to tell me, he told me a story one time. He went to a gun show. He didn't even bring any cash, and he started kicking himself the whole time. And I know what you mean. And we've all let deals like that go where we should have got it. We should have, you know, we should have picked it up, and we didn't. And you know, it just, or we've let things go. I've let a lot of things go that I wish I would have kept. You know, I really do. So let's move on over here to what I got on the table, and this is what I call my mistress to my 1911s, and it is a Browning High Power. Yes, this one definitely is. It probably needs to be cleaned. There it is, a Belgium Browning High Power, and you know what? Yeah, that's right. You got to have the magazine in these in order to release the hammer. So, actually, yeah. This I haven't had these out for so long. But yeah, I call them my mistress to my 1911s because they are, you know, they're still a John Browning design. Obviously, they came out, I believe he started to work on these things, and he died before he could actually create them. And they were finally out and available around 1935, I believe. That's why they call it the P35, probably. So But this one here is the original ones that when I saw it, I wanted, which is known as a T series, which is identified by the T prefix in the serial number. That's how that is identified. It's got the ring hammer, so it's definitely an earlier one with the ring hammer. And I do, you know, call me weird, but I just love the fact that that I know it gives you hammer bite, but you know what? It's part of the fun. It really is. And I do love, even though my eyes, I can't see these sights anymore, but those low profile itty bitty sights there, and then that front sight. You know, that's, to me, that's part of the love and part of the look of the thing. And it's got all these really cool stampings on it. It's got this type of like a bomb, like a little ordnance bomb or something right there. I've heard it being referred to in a collector's market as the pineapple, but it's got some lettering on it. I can't really read what it says, but it's also on the barrel right here. It's also there. And then it's funny is, you know what, actually, if you notice on the barrel, there's a little line there. I don't know if you can see it on that camera. There's a line that separates the barrel and the chamber. And what that is actually the barrel is done in two pieces. They put them together in the end, and they must weld it or gas weld it together or something. And I know that sounds really crazy. The reason they did that was because if you look at the barrel, and then it tapers down and it gets bigger, and then it goes there. They did, so they would, if they had to machine it on one piece, you could see how much metal they would have to use. So you're talking, these are, you know, 1968 vintage on these, and of course this thing goes all the way back. So they figured if they did it in two pieces, then they wouldn't have to use as much metal on the front. They just stack them together. So that's kind of the idea behind that. But yeah, no, this is the original ones that I really wanted. They also are called, the original grips have red backing on them. So I don't know if you can see down in the well there, but the other side of the grips are black, or I mean, the other side of the grips are red. And that's the indication, another collector's thing on there. So you'll hear that term, you know, the Belgian Browning, you know, high power with the ring hammer, the red backs on the grips and all that, and the T series, and you'll hear a lot of that. After this would have been, I think they're called the C series, and the C series, you know, come out a little bit later, and the fit and finishes on those are actually pretty good too. But this is my favorite one. It's the one I originally saw and originally wanted. When I was in Hawaii, a guy that had one, and he, you know, I wanted to buy it from him. He had it, and I said, you know, he had it in its original bag, and there's the bag right there, and the bag's red on the inside. Of course, mine, the logo or the thing is rubbed off. It's pretty much not hardly any of it there left, but it's got the original the zipper here, which says I never actually noticed what the zipper says. Conmar on the zipper. But yeah, this is the bag, and he had it in one of these bags too, and it was wrapped up in brown wax paper. And I chased after him. I said, hey, how much for that? How much for that? And I remember him, and this is a good, you know, 10 years ago. And he said, well, it's my favorite one, and you know, all this, and yeah, you know, gave me the runaround a little bit. And I said, you know, something about he turned down $1,200 for it, and I just went, wow, you know, that's, yeah. So not much I could do there, you know, that, I mean, all that time later. So I never was able to get it, and it always was something I really wanted. So ended up moving out here, obviously, and I now picked up a couple of them. That's how much I like them. I picked up a couple. Now this one's a little bit different because it has a little bit of a marking difference right there, but it is actually still a T series, and this is the original magazine for it. And yeah, it has those red backs in there. So I kind of got a little greedy with these because this one actually came up on a really, really good price. In fact, I dare almost not mention the price I got it for, because that was one of those moments where if I didn't buy it, I was an idiot to let it go. So I ended up with it, and yeah, this is definitely a good buy. And this one's in a lot better shape than my original one I got. because that one's got a couple of scars on it. In fact, that one's worth shooting and enjoying, and this one worth keeping in its original condition. In fact, this one definitely got a little bit wear on it. And funny thing is, I actually paid more for this one than that one. But no, you know, that's kind of just the way it went. And you know, I'm really happy that I was able to actually you know, get these in the collection and everything. So I always was out looking around for them, and you know what, I got taken care of somehow, and ended up with those. So I like them, and I will keep them. And they're really cool. They're good investment pieces. Again, that's the bonus side of it, you know, when you're collecting all this stuff. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this this week's radio talk and everything. Answer your comments a little bit about that. So again, if you have questions and stuff like that, leave them in the comments below. And you know what, I can't believe I'm actually sitting here and we got both of these on the table. I never thought I'd be at that point. So anyway, hopefully October is going good as the weather is cooling down. Thank goodness, because I don't like the heat at all, and it is very